Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is a live recording of a 50-minute full body flow. I do use my block today. If you've got something, maybe a pillow, a rolled up blanket, something to hold on to, could be a table, a chair, anything like that. But yeah, I use my block a bit today. Find some space to move though, and let's get started. I think we'll start in child's pose. So you can come on over, bring your knees out nice and wide, melt it down. Maybe press into your hands a little bit. You might even sway your shoulders side to side. But then slowly, slowly lower down. Rest your forehead on something. Soften through your shoulders. Let your chest get a little bit heavier. Just take a nice slow breath in and out, slowing down your day. You might wiggle your toes just a little bit, maybe even the fingers too. And then with the next inhale that you take, really let your belly expand. Let your belly be soft, let it expand and fill up with air. And let that breath go. Letting your chest get a little heavier and a little heavier. And we're going to stay here just a little bit longer, maybe moving into a side stretch. Should you want to go up, lift up to tabletop, so you're on your knees, you can do that, or you can stay in the child's pose legs. But we're just going to move our arms, our hands over towards the left. Move your chest that way too. Maybe walk your fingertips further and further away so that you feel some pull through your arms and then melt it back down. Or as low as you can go with your head, your chest. Stay for just another breath on this side and then let an inhale lift you up just enough so that you can move your arms, move your upper body all the way back through center. Maybe send your hips back towards your heels again if you're still in child's pose. And you can keep walking over to the right, walk the fingertips away so you're reaching, lengthening through your arms, and then melt it down. Let your chest get as close to the ground as it can. Maybe feeling a little pull through your left shoulder and arm, maybe the right one too if you're lucky. Staying for just another breath on this side, and then you can slowly find your way back through center. And again, if you're in child's pose, you might just push into your hands a little bit, send your hips back towards your heels. But then we're all going to be lifting up and meeting in tabletop. Maybe you are already there, but you can scoot your knees in, spread your fingers wide, and maybe give your hips a nice sway side to side. Now we're going to be tucking our toes under and lifting our knees all the way up to downward facing dog. I want you to push into your hands, send your hips high, maybe a little pedal of the feet, and then lift your heels up as much as you can. So you're kind of on the balls of the feet, and then start to bend your knees and come all the way back down to tabletop. And you can go nice and slow. You don't have to touch your knees to the ground, but you can. And you're just going to come up to downward dog again. Send the heels towards the ground. Maybe try to float your toes, but push into your hands. And then lift your heels up. Bend the knees. Slowly bring them down, maybe to a hover. Maybe they touch the ground. And when you're ready to lift back up, you can lift back up. Downward facing dog. Drop the heels a little bit towards the ground. Maybe try to float your toes. You could pedal the feet. Can we do that one more time? Lift your heels up. Bend your knees, slowly lower down to tabletop, maybe just a hover though, and then lift up, downward facing dog. You can pedal the feet again if you want to. Maybe let your head get just a little bit heavier. And then using an inhale, let's look forwards. As you exhale, walk all the way up to the top of your mat. Once you get there, start to inhale into a half lift. As you exhale, fold forwards. Take an inhale to come all the way up to standing. And as you exhale, lower your arms down to your sides. You can roll your shoulders back. And as you inhale, reach up. Exhale as you fold. Inhale into a half lift. And exhale to fold forward. Inhale all the way up, reach up. And as you exhale, lower your arms. A shoulder roll again if you want one. And then inhale as you reach up. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale into your half lift. And as you exhale, folding forwards, we're going to plant our hands and step our feet back to our downward facing dog. Push into your hands, maybe pedal the feet. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to bring our knees back down to tabletop. We're actually going to lower them for sure this time. You can even untuck your toes so you're on the top of the feet. Maybe give your hips a little bit of a sway. But we're going to reach both of our arms forwards and then over to the left. So let your chest come down, walk your fingertips away, find that side stretch or arm stretch. Take just another breath. And then inhale can lift you. And you can move your hands back to the middle. And you can go all the way over to the right side. Walk the fingertips away. Nice big reach, big stretch. Lower your chest. Lower your head. Awesome work, you guys. Using an inhale to lift, and then you can move your hands back to the middle. You can bring your hands under your shoulders too, but tuck your toes and then lift your downward facing dog. Maybe a pedal of the feet. Big push into the hands though, and then using an inhale to look forwards. And as you exhale, walk on up all the way to the top of your mat. And once you do get there, you can inhale into your half lift. And as you exhale, folding forwards. Inhale as you come all the way up to standing, reach up. And exhale, lower your arms down. Nice, you guys. Okay, so I am going to use my block a little bit today. If you're close to something like a table of some sort, chair, you might want to hold on to something. It could even be a wall, but have it in front of you if you do have something to use. We're going to stand tall here. Maybe lift our left heel up. I have my feet side by side or close together. You could have your feet hip width apart though. We're going to take a little fold. So if you want to pop the left heel up now, you can. You could do it later. Tipping forwards and maybe holding on to something. So lifting that left heel if you want. Bringing your knee towards your chest towards your knee. And then if you're feeling nice and balanced here, we might take a peek to the left. And if you're holding on to something, lift your chest up and push into that thing. So if you peek over towards the left, maybe your chest can open that way too. If you want your left heel to be on the ground, it could be, but if the right hand can touch something to push into it, to keep that chest lifted and open, your left hand might find your hip, might reach out to the side, or it might reach up above you a little bit. But take another inhale. And then as you exhale, turn your upper body so you're facing down again. If your left heel is still lifted, drop it. Can we all inhale into a half lift? And exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, come up to standing, reach up. And exhale, lower your arms to your sides. So you can decide again how wide you need your feet to be so you're balanced. If your right heel is going to lift now or later or never, but slowly leaning forwards. Taking your time. Maybe lifting that right heel as high as it can be. Maybe bring your chest and your knees close together as they can come. And you can skip the twist for sure, but if you are feeling balanced, maybe you'll start to take a peek over towards the right and lift the chest up a little. Maybe the left hand will push into something. Maybe the right hand finds your hip. Open the chest to the right, maybe look up or reach out. Finding some balance here, some twist. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, let your upper body face down again. If your heel is lifted, you can drop it and take an inhale to lift halfway up. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale to come all the way up, reach up, and exhale, lower your arms down to your sides. And you can add a shoulder roll if you'd like. If you have something really close to you in front of you, maybe move it or turn. But let's take an inhale to reach up and exhale to fold forward. Inhale into a half lift. And as you exhale, fold down, plant your hands, step your feet back to your downward facing dog. A big push into your hands and maybe a pedal of the feet too. Take a nice slow breath in and out. Stay for another inhale. And with the exhale, we can bring our knees down. So back to our tabletop. And we are going to send our right leg back behind us. Push into the ball of the foot. Stretch your ankle, your calf. And then slide your right knee back in and send your left leg out. Stretching the ankle and the calf. So you can slide your left knee back in. We're going to bring our right foot forwards between our hands. So we're going to set up a lunge. You can roll your mat over if you want some cushion under your back knee. We're going to sink the hips forwards for a moment. And then we're going to send our hips back. So lengthening the front leg. So I want you to keep just a nice soft bend through your right knee and try to push your foot down. Try to touch your toes, the ball of the foot, to the ground of your front foot. Now we're going to bend back into the front knee, so coming back into our lunge. And then just notice how much space you have between your back knee and your front foot. You can shorten that distance. You can keep some decent amount of space between the front foot and the back knee. We might just try to lift our hands, lift our chest, push into your front foot. Just a little bit of a lift from this lunge. And then just coming right back down, hands to the ground, and slowly sending the hips back. So if you shorten the distance between the front foot and the back knee, you might have to adjust, micro adjustments, but a little bend through this front knee, pressing our front foot into the ground. So maybe we can float our hands and maybe even lift our chest, really pushing into that front foot. A little bend through that front knee, but the leg's kind of straighter. And then you're just gonna come right back down. A little bit of balancing, a lot of balancing. Bend your front knee, come back to your lunge. Stretch your hip. And then we can bring our right leg back. We can come all the way back to tabletop. Give your hips a little sway, shake it out if you'd like. You can stay in tabletop or you can tuck your toes, lift your knees, downward facing dog for just a moment. Maybe pedal the feet, maybe try to float your toes, but then lift your heels high, 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 and slowly bend the knees, maybe pausing in a little bit of a hover, and then bringing your knees all the way down. Then we can bring our left foot forwards. We can set up our lunge and sink into the hips. So if you need to roll your mat over, add some cushion under that back knee. Feeling your right hip, maybe the entire leg. And then we'll send the hips back, keeping our hands on the ground here, but just trying to push the foot down so that when we do try to lift, we are able to use that foot. It doesn't come all the way down, it doesn't come all the way down, but maybe you can try. Press the toes, the ball of the foot, whatever part of the foot will touch the ground, press it into the ground. Little soft bend through your knee too. We'll bend back into that front knee though, come into the lunge again. And if you do want to adjust the space between your front foot and your back knee, since you know where we're going, you can, or you could stay as you are. But maybe we'll try to lift our hands from here, push into your foot already. Try to push into your foot and let that be the thing that maybe lifts your chest so you can keep the shoulders soft. And then you're just going to come straight back down. And you can send your hips back too. Lengthening through that front leg and maybe starting to push more into that left foot. Push, push, push. Maybe see if one hand or both wants to lift. Keep pushing, pushing, pushing. And maybe lifting up. Soft bend through that knee. And then concentration, concentrating. And pushing into that foot. As you slowly bring yourself down and forwards, and then you can sink back into that lunge. Feel your right hip. Nice work, you guys. Pretty tricky. We're going to find our way back to tabletop though. So however you need to get there, plant your hands. Feel free to stay here again a little bit longer or tuck your toes and lift your knees. Find your downward facing dog. push into your hands, maybe pedaling your feet, but stay for an inhale. Maybe start to lift the heels. And as you exhale, lower your knees. Come all the way back to your tabletop. Then we're all going to slide forwards and lay on our bellies. And should you have a block to use today, have it close by. But lay on your belly and take a moment to relax. You can stack your palms and then your forehead. You might even give your hips a little bit of a sway, side to side. If you don't have a block to use today, just use your hands. We're going to do that stretch for the front of our neck. So use your hands, just rest your jaw in your palms. Let the back of the head try to find the top of the shoulders. If you've got a block, you might angle it away from you a little bit. Rest your chin on top. If you can let your chest be heavy, your head be heavy. Maybe if you're using a block, you don't have to hold on to it. And just open your mouth slightly if the teeth are kind of clenching together. Keep some space between your top teeth and your bottom teeth. Taking another breath or two. And then you can remove your block or your hand. And slowly bring your forehead back down, maybe stacking your palm. And just notice the sensations flowing through your neck, down your spine. So we're gonna try to keep our upper body relaxed. So that might mean your forehead just stays resting on your palms. Maybe you're on a cheek. We're gonna lift our left foot up though. Bring the heel towards the glute so you don't have to touch your foot. So you can just squeeze it a little bit. Or you could take your left hand and reach for your foot, but still trying to relax your chest, rest your forehead or cheek. And a couple options. You can stay on your belly. You want to roll onto your right side and maybe hold on to your foot. So you're stretching your quad. You can roll onto your right side. Or you could roll onto your left side. And if you want to hold your foot, maybe you can hold the inside edge of your foot and then tip over to the left side. We're all, no matter whether you're on your belly, your right side, or your left side, we're just trying to hug our heel towards the glutes. And also try to relax your head. So maybe it's resting in your hand or on the ground. And if you did roll over onto one side, you can either keep your foot or let it go, but we'll all meet on our bellies again. And let the left leg go too. Stacking your palm, lifting your forehead. Just a moment to relax. Maybe sway your hip. Let's just stay on our belly for a moment and lift our right foot up. Maybe not touching it yet, or maybe you are going to reach for it. Just continue to relax your chest, rest your head. And decide if you want to stay on your belly like this, if you want to roll onto your left side, hug the heel towards the glutes. Or if you want to roll onto your right side, you might just try to hold onto the inside edge of the foot. Tip on over, but still trying to relax your head. Bring the heel towards the glutes. So if you are on one side, and start to tip back over and let your foot go at some point along the way too. Rest your forehead. Maybe give your hips a little bit of a sway side to side. And we're going to be turning over and onto our backs. So I did mention that maybe you wanted to have a block or a pillow or something that could go underneath your hips. If you don't have anything at all, that's fine. You can lay flat on your back. If you do have something to use and you want to lay flat on your back, that's also your call. But turn over for sure. And if you've got something to slide under your hips, you could add that in. Just a supported bridge. Now, if you don't have anything to use to rest your hips on, you can lift your hips up, you can work, but don't worry, we will work a little bit too, even if we are in the supported bridge. So let's just all have our hips resting either on the ground or on top of a pillow or block of some kind. Plant your feet, both width apart, toes, heels, balls of the feet. much of your feet that you can be touching the ground. You can have your arms resting wherever's comfortable, maybe close to your sides, maybe out a little bit wider. But then we are just going to lift our hips with a little squeeze and a little push into the feet. We're going to lift our hips. You're going to take another inhale. And then as you exhale, very gently bring your hips down. Maybe they're going all the way to the ground. Maybe they're resting on your prop of choice, but just relax. And you can kind of decide along the way if you want to keep your prop under your hips or if you want to take it out at any time. But option here to keep both feet on the ground or to lift your right knee towards your chest. Doesn't have to get really close to your chest. Just a bent knee and a lifted right foot. So you don't have to touch your leg. You could, but either both feet on the ground. You could drop it again if you want to, or you can keep that right foot lifted. We're just going to take a little squeeze and a little press into the left foot, and maybe we float our hips. Maybe they're feeling nice and heavy. Take just another inhale. And as you exhale, very gentle, as you lower back down, relax. And if you have your right foot lifted, you can bring it down too. Just reset. And again, at any time you want to remove your prop or add it in, you can definitely do that. The left foot can stay down though, or it can float, bending the knee. Try to kind of relax the left leg a little bit. But you can hold it, but you don't have to. And then maybe you don't want to lift your hips, but if you want to, a little squeeze, a little push into your right foot. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, lower the low back, the hips. Lower the left foot too if it's lifted. Relax. I'm going to leave my hips on my block. If you want to take it out, you can take it out. You could add a gentle sway of the knees, though, if it feels okay. And then we're going to do either both feet on the ground and one more lift of the hips, or you can lift both of your feet and then we will just leave our hips on the prop or the ground. But just bending the knees, floating the feet, trying to relax your legs a little bit, maybe resting on something. Now, you can either be in bridge here and lift your hips for one more squeeze. If you're floating the feet, you can keep the legs bent or you can straighten them, sending your feet higher. But if you did straighten your legs, just start to bend them again. And we'll all let our feet find the ground if they're lifted right now. If your hips are lifted and your feet are on the ground, bring your hips down. And if you still got a prop underneath you, take it out. Slide it to the side. Lay flat on your back. And maybe give your knees a nice sway. Try to press the low back down a little bit so that it gets a massage. And then we're going to hug our right knee back in towards our chest. And again, you can hold the knee. You don't have to, but maybe we give it a little extra hug. And you could send your left leg long this time. Stay for another breath, hugging your knee. And then you can let your right foot find the ground again. You can bring the left leg in too, planting both of your feet, and then maybe just bringing your left knee towards the chest. You don't have to hold it, but you can. Maybe a little extra hug, and maybe sending your right leg long too. Just enjoying a few breaths here. And take another breath. Little extra squeeze the knee maybe, and then let it go. Bringing both of your feet back to the ground. Maybe a sway of the knees side to side too. We will be sliding our left hand underneath. Might be kind of your hip with your palm facing down, might just be your fingertips. Or if you can get your hand kind of under the middle of your back, but still on the side. So it's just your fingers maybe underneath you. Palm facing down, elbow pointing out to the side. And laying flat on your back, if you already feel your shoulder, your arm, just stay on your back. If you want a little extra though, you might let your knees tip over towards the left and maybe turn your hips too. You can lift the right hip up, let the legs tip over, only if you need to go further. But can you keep your right shoulder down? Maybe reach your right arm out wide to weigh it down. If you want to stay here a little longer, you can. If you want to take your hand out from under you and then come into a twist, you can let your legs fall to the left side after you take your hand out. Maybe you are feeling a bit of a twist here with your hand under you and you want to stay a little longer, you can do that too. Take just another breath or two on this side. Lift our legs back up. Take your hand out if it's still under you. You might need a shoulder roll or to move a little bit, or maybe just being still is nice. And your right hand wants to tuck underneath your back, maybe the low back, closer to the hip, maybe the middle back. Maybe it's just your fingertips, palm facing down, elbow pointing out to the side. Just stay on your back. You already feel the shoulder. Stay flat. Or letting the knees tip over a little bit or a little bit more. Let's try to keep the left shoulder down. 2. You would like to take your hand out and then move into a twist, knees tipping to the right, or stay as you are, but just a few more breath here. Take another breath or two, and then you can start to come back up. If you're twisting, you can take your hand out if it's under you. And if you need to roll the shoulders a little bit, and if you want to hug your knees to your chest, maybe sway side to side. Just check in with how you are feeling now. Let your eyes close if they're open. Deciding what Shavasana is going to look like for you today. Maybe you'll be sending your legs out long, your arms too. And whatever is comfortable for you. Just be still for these last few moments. Just noticing your breath. Letting everything slow down. And slowly start to move. Maybe give your hips a little sway side to side as you take a deep, slow breath in and out. And reach your arms above your head for a nice big stretch. And bending your knees so you can roll over. Finding your way up to a comfy seat when you're ready. You bring your hands together. Awesome practice, you guys. Thank you for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you very soon. Namaste.